Welcome to the Man United show. We are live. And as news emerges that Erik Ten Hag edges slightly closer to the Man United job, we're going to be covering many different things. Why would be the right choice above people like Mauricio Pochettino? Why there's a large contingent of Man United fans that want Erik Ten Hag over any other candidates. Also, what would he bring to Man United? Who would potentially face the chop, and who's likely? What players would he likely bring in at United? We're also going to be touching a bit on Paul Pogba's recent interview as well. Joining me tonight is Garth. How you doing, Garth?
Yeah, great, mate. Styling and profiling. How you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. And we've got, from She Devils United, we've got Alex. How you doing, Alex?
Hi, I'm really good. I love Garth's top, by the way. I'm just like drooling over
Proper retro.
Classic. Yeah,
Proper
classic.
Love it. Love the sharp is my favourite era of United, I swear.
Look how happy he is. He's absolutely
well happy.
He's
made my day. Absolutely made my day.
And of course, we're joined by Natalie. How you doing, Natalie?
Good. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to talk.
All right. Let's go. Everyone in the comment section, thank you for joining us already. Smash that like and smash that subscribe. Smash the like, especially so people can know that you're enjoying the show and you can show everyone else that we're live. All right, here we go. Girl power. There we go. First and foremost, Paul Pogba. His comments in a recent interview, it very much seems like he's off. It doesn't seem like there's any way back. But there was a few things that he said which sort of stood out to me. He said that he made it clear that he was off and his time at Man United has not been the most enjoyable, and even said that this season it was completely dead. We're winning nothing. Garth, first review. Sad way to end on what a player of Paul Pogba's quality is at Man United.
Yeah. Very sad way for him. For it to end for us and for him, obviously. Admittedly, it's every international break, though, isn't it? Every time he's away in France, we start hearing this. But look, in my opinion, he spoke the truth. This season has been dead for him, hasn't it? You know, he's been in and out of the team for the last 2 years. It's a shame. It's a massive shame because he's a fantastic talent. And the rumours that Premier League clubs are interested in him is just upsetting me as well. So, But yeah, very sad way for it to end. Very sad.
Yeah. Alex, are you a bit disappointed about how the Paul Pogba's time at Man United, or do you think that some of the critics are a bit too harsh?
Yeah, personally, I'm really disappointed because when he came from Juventus, it was like I thought that he was going to bring that fire and he was going to be the glue that was going to bring everything together and just make us like win trophies again. I know he was a part of us winning Europa League, etc. But I thought it was going to be such a more of a significant buy for us. But yeah, it's been like there's been injuries, there's been like kind of like stop-start, like lots of stutters. And it's disappointing. You know, he's an academy graduate, and it's disappointing that it's ended like this because he is an undeniable talent, and we see it time in, time out. And I just wish that in the beginning that we built the team around him effectively, because I feel like that would have worked so much better. And we didn't. And so it's just a lesson that we have to learn moving forwards. And hopefully we can get it right next time.
Yeah, definitely. Natalie, welcome, Lauren.
Thank you.
All right. Natalie, sad way to end after, as Alex said, he's an academy graduate. He went to Juventus. He came back and everyone thought they brought back a superstar, but it hasn't really gone that way.
No, and you know, I think even the first time he left, it wasn't really, yeah, you can go after. I think we want. I mean, Ajax got Ten Hag in my brain. Yeah, you can go off to Juve, and everyone's happy. It was sort of under a cloud that, and obviously, yeah, when he came back, everyone thought this is it. He's going to change it. We're going to see this world class guy, and he has shown glimpses of world class, but it's. I'm seeing Paul say to disgrace the way he's been treated. I think he's been treated all right. I sort of agree with him. Yeah, it has been, dead. It hasn't been good. Like the time you want to come and you want to win trophies, you want it to be all about you. But it's a team game, and he's part of the team. And you know, it's not good, the comments that I'm seeing now. I understand why people are angry about it. You know, for me, I think we know it happens, but you don't want to see it happen. You don't want to see someone go and like call a season dead and all this kind of thing. It's the truth, yeah, but we'll say it to everyone when we're in the stadium. You know, why go off to France and have to say it? Say your truth now. You know, in front of fans, and say it has been dead, and say, yeah, I haven't been good enough. But you don't know. But I'm sorry. I don't like that. It just feels a bit sly. Then he'll go, oh, it was misinterpreted. I didn't mean. You know, forget that. You meant what you said. So say it.
Yeah, I hate what you're saying, Lauren. Are you disappointed about Paul Pogba's time at Man United? Do you think it could have been a lot better?
It definitely could have been a lot better. As Natalie said, like we have seen glimpses of what we were hoping for when he came back, but we've not seen it consistently. You know, we've struggled with his attitude and just his agent as well. And, you know, there's just been a lot of problems since he's come back. And as much as most people do want it to work with him, we've got to draw the line somewhere and say, look, it is time to go now, because we're just holding on to deadwood. We're holding on to the idea of what he can do, not what he's doing week in, week out on the pitch. And that's not good enough for us. Yeah,
no, I hear that. Is it frustrating, Garth, when you see glimpses of the magic that he can bring?
Yeah, of course it is. 4 assists. Was it the first game of the season? Was it 4 assists he got? Or second, I think he's still 3rd or 4th in the assists chart, isn't he? As well. So, yeah, of course it is. But that's Paul Pogba for us, isn't it? For the 5 years he's been here, it's been inconsistent at best. Sometimes he turns up. A lot of the times, be it whether it's because he's out of position or the players around him aren't helping him, he hasn't performed. So. Yeah, that's the most frustrating thing about Paul Pogba's time at Man United, I'd say, is the inconsistency of his performances, especially when you see some of the outstanding performances that he does produce. So,
yeah. So, would you say the criticism's been fair, Natalie, that Paul Pogba's had? Do you think it's all geared around his game, or do you think that?
It's about other things, isn't it? You know, he gets a haircut. Oh, you know, foolishness. You know, stuff that. You know, people should be able to do. I even saw Rooney coming out today, and I thought, you know, a couple of days ago going there with dancing, and yeah, it's not what you want to see. Yeah, I'm of that, you know, era where, you know, if you do lose, you don't want to do it. But the game's changed, and, you know, I don't think he's not hurting, because maybe he's just thinking, let me get back on it. And I just think as well, you know, I agree with what was said, what Girl said. I think it's people around him, but then, you know, you do have to take that responsibility on yourself and say, yeah, the players haven't been good enough, but all the time it's always the players when you're going to start saying, you know, maybe I haven't been good enough as well. And it's time. It's upsetting, but I just hope he don't go Premier League club, because that would upset me even more. But then at the same time, it's who paying the most money, to be honest.
Alex, how much would it be a kick in the teeth if Paul Pogba was to go to a Premier League club?
Oh my gosh, I couldn't fathom it. I couldn't. It would be very, very hard to watch, especially watching him come back for Old Trafford, and if he scored goals or if he had assists and all sorts, and was performing and was amazing. It would hurt. But then at the same time, I think you could just see that he's playing in a better team with better players. And you know, I wish him all the best. I feel like he's had unfair treatment with the press. I don't think he's as bad as everyone makes him out to be. But it would be very difficult to watch a game with him coming back and scoring and stuff. I would hate that so much, especially if it was Chelsea.
Lauren, is the worry more that Paul Pogba would actually come back and show Man United what they missed on a consistent basis? Is that the worry, or do you not think there is a worry in that? Do you think he's not ready? He's not a Prem player.
No, I do think that's worry, because if he goes to another Prem club and absolutely smashes it there, you know that all the problems lie at Man United. And we know that, but we kind of don't want to admit that in a way. So it'll just cement exactly what, you know, we do kind of know. And if he comes back to Old Trafford, I do like him, and I'd hate to see him come back to Old Trafford and get a bad reception. And he would 100% if he went to a Premier League club. I don't think it would be as bad if he went abroad. That's another thing. I just wouldn't want to see that as well, because he has been with the club twice for years, and he's done some great things for us, albeit not as consistent as we hoped. But I'd like to just see him go abroad and we can kind of forget about him and we don't need to be reminded of how good he actually is.
Yeah. Garth, what club would worry you the most that Paul Pogba went to?
What, in England?
What club do you think can get the best out of Paul Pogba?
Italy again, I suppose. That's where we saw the best of him, isn't it? It's back out in Serie A. In the Prem, well, it's only going to be Man City or Chelsea, isn't it, really? It can't be anyone else for Paul Pogba with the 400 grand a week he's going to be asking for. So either of them would scare me to death, because if you get all guns firing, Paul Pogba, top of his game, he's an awesome player. That's the biggest problem, isn't it? He's an awesome player when he wants to be. So yeah, Chelsea or Man City, I'd be devastated if he went Man City or Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
I still think he wouldn't. I still think he's got a semblance of it. If there's no one else, obviously, then he's going there. But if a Real Madrid or a Juventus come in for him, I reckon he goes there personally. So,
So you think, Natalie, you think this may be a bit of paper talk, just try and get a better contract elsewhere? Not Man United,
maybe,
but elsewhere.
I think he'd go Paris as well, and I think there's, whatever happens with them, I don't know, but whether they're going to keep Mbappe, probably that would have an influence. But yeah, it might be just to smoke them out a bit more, smoke out Madrid. But yeah, if he went Chelsea, and I'd agree with Lauren, he would get. I mean, if he went City, it would just be the end. But if he went Chelsea, it would still get stick. If he went anywhere, he'd get stick. But if he went Paris, we didn't see him for a couple of years, and then maybe come back, it would be a bit more mellow.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. All right, let's get on to Erik ten Hag then. The Ajax man has been linked with Man United. News came out the other day that he had a meeting with United on Monday. The meetings went well. However, there has been news since that Man United are not the only clubs that are in for Erik ten Hag. There's other clubs in Europe that are looking to bring the Ajax boss to their team, and they could have a bit of a worry there if they don't act fast. Do you worry that the same thing seems to be happening again, Alex? We've seen in previous summers where deals weren't getting done. It was stuttering back and forth between the teams. Is there a worry that with this news coming out that other teams are interested in Ten Hag, that Man United won't get the man that seems like they want?
I mean, of course there's a worry. I think the worry is that we're not going to make top four, so that might not be appealing to him to come to us because we won't probably play in Champions League. I think also the worry could be that in the background you've got Darren Fletcher and John Murta. Are they really going to be a draw? Are they going to sell him the project? Is it going to be something that he's going to want to take on? So those things are worries. I mean, I really want to know who these other clubs are so I can kind of, compare like our situations to theirs and kind of really understand like what could tempt him away. But it's difficult because I think ultimately it just solely relies on how the project is sold to him, whether or not he's going to want to come and if he wants to take on working in the Prem and stuff like that. So I think, yeah, that could be a challenge 100% in getting him over.
Yeah. Lauren, do you think it's as much as Ten Hag's picking Man United as Man United are picking Ten Hag? It's not all one way?
I think the ball's going to be in his court, to be honest.
Yeah.
We're not as appealing as we used to be. And as you say, there's other clubs involved or wanting him. I think it's going to be a huge task for him. He needs to kind of weigh up how hard he kind of wants to work. Because we need to start from the ground up again, and it's not a small job, it's huge. And he's done well at Ajax, so does he want to ruin that by going somewhere straight away like United and potentially failing like many other very credible managers have done. So I think that's the biggest worry, is whether he's going to want that project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Natalie, if Erik ten Hag was to take this project, it'd be a massive job for him, not just in the stature of the club, but what he'd have to do to try and take Man United back to the top. Do you think he'd be up for it?
I think any sort of like, because he's a young manager, he's coming up, he's sort of can make his mark, and I think Man United, we've had sort of great managers. They haven't done great for us, but Louis van Gaal, I just want to go back. Whatever you think of the way he played with us, he was a good manager, and I think Jose, he's a good manager. He's got that history. They've won trophies, and I think we've had all these kind of managers that have come in and won trophies. We tried to do a bit different with Volley, didn't work. I think we just need to clear everything out, start again. It's a fresh project. Start from the base zero. This is the identity. This is the way we're going to play. Be firm on it, not just sort of switch and change and try and fit this one into this formation. No, I need these players to fit into this style of play that I'm going to play. And if it takes 5 years to get back and win a trophy, then giving those, you know what I mean? I just feel like we need an identity, because at the minute, I don't know. You can say Man City play this way, it's tippy-tappy. You can say Liverpool play a certain way. What way do Man United play? The way that they feel like on the day. It's not good enough. We need to be planning long term now, and I agree with what Alex said about the people there, Fletcher, Merter, Richard Arnold. Are they going to convince him that he's got that kind of time and he's got that kind of backing? Because other managers didn't have the backing, and we've seen the way it's gone. It's like a revolving door currently at United. Yeah. So that's why I think.
I know what you mean. Garth, there's some people would say not playing in the Man United way. Is it time that people move on from that with regards to what Man United used to do, and even potentially what the noises were going around with when Solskjaer was there and his backroom staff?
Yeah, 100%. Especially if we get Ten Hag. Ten Hag's system is not the Man United way at all, period. So fans need to be ready for that if Ten Hag comes in. It's a very different style of football.
What style of football is it that he brings?
He plays a very fast-paced possession game, but it's more the individual players on the pitch, how he moves them about. He plays one inverted fullback, allowing the other fullback to move across with the centre-back. So in attack, he plays a 3-2-2-3. So the right-back moves into centre midfield, allowing Gravenberch to move into attacking midfield, and the wingers moving up. It's possession based, so we're not going to be seeing like counter-attacking football. The only thing I can say that's similar is he likes his wingers wide, very wide. Like they stay on the byline pretty much. But yeah, it will be a culture. It's a massive job for Ten Hag if he wants to play his system at Man United, because not only do we not have many of the personnel that he would want in that team to play it, as we're saying, it's a massive shift in culture for Man United. But Solskjaer tried to bring back the old way. It worked for a little bit, and in the end, it didn't. So the old way, is it gone? The Man United's old way was 4-4-2. Like wingers bombing down the flanks, fullbacks staying back pretty much. Like that system's gone. That system doesn't work in football anymore. If you're talking culture, that's Man United. That's not going to change, if you know what I mean, like the actual club culture. But yeah, on the pitch, it will be a massive, massive difference to what we've seen since '86 with Ferguson. All the other managers we've had and Ferguson, it'll be a completely different style of football. So it'll be very interesting.
Lauren, how important is it that Man United fans give whoever comes in time?
Huge, because the supporters of this club are one of the biggest voices for the club, and whether we like it or not, it does always play a part in decisions that are being made. So I do think we've got to back this manager, because we're losing the love for the club by hating on players, managers. We're completely losing the essence of what we all love about this club is us sticking together, being loyal, we've not got that anymore. So we need to make sure, we need to understand the project that needs to happen. So we need to understand that's not going to take time. That's going to take time, and it's not an overnight job. So if we have to, you know, really, really go through it for a little bit. We're gonna have to do that if we want to get to where we all want to be, and that will take time.
Yeah, great points there. Alex, Lauren makes the points about the unity. Do you feel like they're slowly starting to fade away, manager by manager, player by player that comes in and out of the club?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I speak to so many United fans constantly, and there is such a divide about players that we want to stay, players who want to leave. You know, Ollie in, Ollie out camp. There's been a heavy divide. I mean, it's been for a long time. I think since Fergie's left, it's been really disjointed. I mean, and that's okay. Like, people can have their preferences and their views and opinions. I mean, we don't want to be like a totalitarian kind of fan base, but I think that this whole situation, this saga of like finding a new manager, is something that, you know, we're all kind of getting behind. And I think all of United fans, whoever the manager is going to be, we're all going to want to give that manager time. We're going to want to give them a chance, and we want to see in the transfer windows who they're going to bring in and what's going to happen. I think that's something that we can all be united about, I feel like.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree. Natalie, big up, James. James says the situation needs to be sorted by the end of March as planned before the next round of fixtures. Is it important for you that this gets done quick?
Yeah, because I think even we're hearing about, you know, Ten Hag being linked with the clubs. It's just, you know, it's sort of annoying to me, because I just, United, they used to just do the business, and you would just hear about it, you just see it, you know. Now everyone knows he was interviewed on Monday, but he's not. And I'm just thinking, it's getting on my nerves. Just, it's him. Just tie it up, finish it. If you wanted maybe interview Poch as well, but who else? You know, you shouldn't be a 20 list job, because then he will go. You need to just have 2 or 3. Bang, interviews done. Right, this is who we're getting. But they have to tell everyone each process. That's probably what's made these other clubs come out. You know what I mean? Because they know, oh, they're actually doing it. Yeah. Why tell the world? Just get it done and announce it.
Yeah. Garth, is there a worry for you that if this deal doesn't get done quickly, he may have his head turned elsewhere?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Especially as everyone else has been saying, we're not the most attractive prospect at the moment. It's very unlikely we've got Champions League football next year. We're losing a star player in Paul Pogba, plus the rest of the players we're losing on a free as well. No Champions League football means a lesser transfer budget. And the rumours I'm hearing, they didn't mention the clubs, but they were saying major European teams. And it was hinted that one of them was Real Madrid. So, I mean, if you're talking about these sort of clubs, then of course your head's going to be turned. Now, that's obviously paper talk, but that's what it said. So if you're talking about these sort of clubs, I don't know, Real Madrid, a PSG, if they're not happy with Poch anymore.
Yeah, Juventus. Look at all the managers that are not doing great at the big clubs.
Yeah, of course his head's going to be turned 100%. And that's exactly what Natalie's saying. We need to get this done sharpish. No more of this. Oh, yeah, he did really well, by the way. Yeah, we really liked him, but we're going to take another couple of weeks just to decide whether we really liked him. Like, no, like, we've got to get it done. Exactly what James was saying. We need this sorted big time. Like, for everyone. Ralph as well. Ralph needs to know what's going on. You know what I mean? Because then you can start, for the last 10 games or so, moulding the team around what would be Ten Hag's preferred formation when he comes in, etc., etc. So yeah, of course his head could be turned.
Yeah, it definitely can be. So Erik Ten Hag, 52 years old. He joined Ajax in December 2017. In the 4 years he's been there as manager, he's won the league twice, and he's won 2 Dutch Cups. Once in the final against PSV. His current Ajax record is 207 games. 153 wins, 26 draws, and 28 losses with a 73% win percentage. He's the fastest manager in the Eredivisie history to get to 100 wins and reach 128 games. So the record on paper sounds good. I am slightly underwhelmed, only because I don't know why he didn't win the league every year. Like that Now I'm being greedy, but for me, if there's any team, if there's any league which has one team in it, it's the Dutch league. Ajax are the only team. I think Feyenoord won it in the year that he didn't win it, and the first year he was only there for half a season, so I can't really say anything. However, I genuinely don't understand why there is so much more love for Erik ten Hag over a Mauricio Pochettino. Alex, can you tell me why there's a large contingent of Man United fans that are really into Erik ten Hag over Pochettino?
Gosh, oh God, how long do we have? Honestly, the chat is just wild between United fans and how much they rate Ten Hag over Poch, which, I mean, for me personally, it's like Poch 49 and Ten Hag 51. It's that tight for me. It's not even one has the edge more so than the other. I think for a lot of United fans, the reason why they love Ten Hag, I think it's because of the stats that you just read out. And I think his recent campaign in the Champions League, okay, yeah, he got knocked out, but I think the starting the qualifying rounds was just incredible to watch them like kind of completely annihilate Dortmund, and just to watch the way that they play is just it's electric and it's exciting. And I think that you could look at the league that he plays in, you can say, well, Farmers League, it's not even probably top 5 leagues that we would watch. But I think when you watch him play in the Champions League, you know that as a tactician, as someone who's a coach, you're going up against different teams around the world. And for him to go up against those clubs and to do really well, I think that's something that excites a lot of United fans. I think that with Poch, we obviously watched the breakdown of them, PSG versus Real Madrid. And I think that a lot of fans are kind of looking at Poch and looking at the French league and thinking, well, that again is a one-team league. And with the stars that you have, you've got Messi, Mbappe, you've got Neymar, you've got Hakimi. Like you feel like those players should win you a Champions League. It should. There's no excuses. So I feel like people fully feel like to have that team, you should be unstoppable, unbeatable. So I think with Ten Hag, he kind of feels like he's the underdog. Also, with Ten Hag, he's trained and worked with Pep, and Pep is, the manager of the moment. He's somebody that everyone reveres, respects, and feels that his style of play and his philosophy and the way that he's played football is elite, and it's incredible. So I think that that's why Ten Hag has got the edge. And yeah, all those reasons, I kind of want him now. But yeah.
Lauren,
Talk yourself into it.
I was going to say, talk yourself right into it.
It's like, 51-49. No, do you know what? Actually, forget Poch. Get him out in the bin. Lauren, what's your preference, and why do you think there's more Man United fans that are looking at Ten Hag and thinking this is the guy for the job?
I think with me, I want Ten Hag. I've never been a huge fan of Poch ever. I think someone put in the comments, what's Ten Hag done? But Poch still didn't win Spurs a trophy. He got them close, but we knew them as them bottlers. He's gone to PSG. He's not getting the most out of it, that front three, which should be unstoppable. And I think my problem is as well that if you watch PSG, their passing is absolutely horrendous. And that is one of our biggest problems in United at the moment is the passing. We're missing. We're losing the ball in that midfield. So I just think I can't see him being the saviour for us. I think he probably could steady the ship, but I can't see him changing huge amounts to reinvent us.
All right. It's fair points. Let me get to James. James again. Young manager, 2 years age difference with Poch. The media has driven a huge difference between the two. Achievements similar. One may be on the way up, granted, but both risk under this ownership. Garth, do you see a risk for both of them under the ownership of Glazers? Do you think it's the owners, or do you think it would be the managers themselves that would be the biggest risks?
The owners, obviously, they're always a problem for us, you know what I mean? But like you said, I'm not a Glazer fan by any. I don't like them at all, but they do back their managers. Whatever anyone can say about them, they do put money in for transfer, or they allow money to be released for transfers. I say they don't put their own money in, but so I don't think it'd be too much of a risk for either of them on the board. I think Ten Hag's more of a risk than Poch. Poch is a proven Premier League manager. Is his win percentage with Spurs, and this is Spurs we're talking about. He turned Spurs into a nearly Champions League and Premier League winning team.
Yeah.
So
Before you go on, Pochettino with Spurs, 293 games, 159 wins, 62 draws, 72 losses, 55% win percentage, and was the quickest manager in Premier League history to get to 100 wins with the Spuds. PSG, 75 games played, 49 games win, 12 draws, 14 losses, 65% win rate. I understand why you're in for Poch. Carry on, sorry.
On that as well, I'd also say is things like no one's won the Champions League with Paris Saint-Germain. And yeah, they got Messi this year, but they've had Mbappe and Neymar for a few years. Tuchel didn't win it with them, and now he's the best manager in the Premier League, as everyone keeps saying. So, like, PSG's a poison chalice, if you ask me. I don't think you can have a go at him for not winning the Champions League with it. Like, I don't watch PSG that much, so Lauren's saying the passing is awful. That would be a major problem for me, because exactly right, the passing is our biggest problem. So yeah, but I wouldn't cast doubt on him just because he didn't win the Champions League with PSG. I really wouldn't. So yeah, I think they're both. Anyone's a risk right now, because whoever comes in has got to do a complete cultural reset at this club. Mm-hmm. There's no guarantee that anyone's going to be able to sort this out. This is the other thing. We're all looking for that fix, and we all want it badly, but this could be a period of like 15, 20 years before we're back, like into a. Yeah, I know, but
I wasn't going to go. Go
on. You just don't know. Again, could be the flip of that. The one thing you can say about Ten Hag is he is very good at building teams, because he has his team ripped up for him every year at Ajax. You know, I mean, I just went through it on the list. You look at the players he's lost since he's been there, and these are key players for him: Klaassen, Weidelwald, Davinson Sanchez, Kluivert, Frankie de Jong, Sinkgraven, De Ligt, Ziyech, Van der Beek, Serginho Dest, and he had Onana banned for a year. Like, he has to rebuild his team every year, so that's a plus for me, because that means he probably can come in and rip it up and start again. I don't think, I'm a bit like, I'm with James. They're both like that for me. They're literally like that. I just need a manager. You know, I mean, I've been joking about getting, like you've all said, I've been joking about getting Mike Bassett in. I just need a manager. I'll take Kirbishley, I'll take Allardyce, I'll take anyone. Please, just bring me a manager. I'll take Ralph if he's going to be called manager. We need some structure. We need some structure bad at this club. So, yeah. But back to the original point, they're both a big risk, I think. Anyone's a risk at the moment.
Yeah, Natalie, who do you think would have? What manager do you think would come in and have to have the biggest overhaul?
I think both, to be honest. I think they're both, because, like what we're saying, I think there is going to be a big overhaul anyway. A lot of them are out of contract, so a lot of them are leaving anyway. So, and I think, you know, there'll be players that are already there that they want to get rid of, and I just think the only thing with Poch for me, I am sort of level. If I was going to say a little bit. It's Ten Hag, but only just like, and I think he can like make. I'm not saying that Poch can't do this, because like no one really knew of Son that much, you know. But Poch towards the end sort of wanted more like the better players, the more money kind of thing, and that's why he sort of left, you know. And I'm not saying we've got our money and Spurs money. We'll give him the money, but I think we, you know. Ten Hag can do it like a nobody, a rich little nobody, and then make them a superstar. And I feel like that's probably where we're at. We need to just get in people that are not, you know, Ronaldo, this and that. We need to just get someone in who's going to fit a position and do a job.
Yeah.
And then build.
Yeah. Nathan, I was just asking, who do you think would have to have the biggest overhaul of this Man United squad if they were to take over as boss? Erik Ten Hag or Mauricio Pochettino?
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, Blake.
You're welcome.
Question, that's a tough one. I think they're both going to do exactly the same thing. They both need to do exactly the same thing, to be fair. Poch, we know, did he inherit that kind of side? Because I was talking about all the players he had, it was an unbelievable squad. That Tottenham side, by the way, if you think about it, it's unbelievable. Kyle Walker, Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Rose. You got Sissoko. You've got Dembele. If you remember Dembele, unbelievable. Eriksen, Son, Kane. It's ridiculous. So for him to do that well, is it because he had a great side that was just there? Did he? I don't think he assembled that side. But again, he got them playing some great football. I'm not going to lie. I loved it. And I think he can do the same if he came to United. I know I heard that a lot of people were not happy with his techniques and his extra training sessions and stuff like that when he first came in. But then once he got them playing and they started doing really well, they were loving it. So that's one side. So I feel they both can do a good job. That's why I don't mind who comes in out of these two. And I know people say, what's he won? But to be fair, come on. He's done a great job and they play great football. He's got a great winning percentage. And then he's now going to have money to actually go and get the players that play the way he likes to play. So for me, that's a great acquisition. Then you look at Ten Hag. You just got to look at what he's been doing. He's been churning out new squads and they keep winning with, people he's bringing through the youth. And he hasn't got lots of money either. So for him, he's got to have an eye for a good player. Got to have an eye for unknowns who can fit the system that he wants. And that's another thing. So it's not just, he's a good player, let's get him in. Wait a minute, but he doesn't fit with that player. Let's get him out. Let's get someone else in as well. So we need someone who really knows their stuff, really knows how to put a team together and know you need some workmen, you need some flair players. You don't want to have 5 flair players in the same side. And that's kind of the problem we have at the moment. You got too many players you can't. It's not their fault, but they're not the shift workers you're talking about, if you get what I mean. And you got too many of those, you're going to get popped around. And that's what happens when you play against City. There's no wonder why we stop running, because you run more, you get opened up more, you get 10-0. And you don't want to be 10-0 against City. So that's the problems we've got. We need to change them. And I don't know if that answered the question, but it's just what's going around in my head. And it's like, you don't know, do you? But whatever happens, they're 2 good candidates.
Yeah, no, they are. They are definitely 2 good candidates. Alex, off the back of Garth's description of Ten Hag earlier, who do you think would genuinely survive this squad? Because it seems like your pass has got to be on point, your movement's got to be on point. Who survives this team?
You know what? I definitely think Sancho would survive in a Poch or Ten Hag team. Past that is very difficult. It's where it gets a bit murky for me. Passing and all that is not our strong suit. And I'm just thinking, the names are going. I'm thinking Fred, I'm thinking McTominay, and I'm like thinking Maguire. And I mean, it's gonna have to work miracles with some of those. I mean, Sancho is the clear person for me. I couldn't even say Bruno. I couldn't, because sometimes his passing is shocking. So
take Varane, wouldn't you? Varane?
Yeah, I would. I think Varane's is not consistent enough for me. But I guess in the team we're rebuilding them, I'll take Varane.
No, who do you think survives? Any of those defenders you got in there at the moment?
Personally, for me, no. I believe Alanga could be moulded very well. He's still young, so I think he could survive it as well. But
wow, that says a lot, innit? That says a lot. You mentioned like one player, we're sitting there like all quiet. Like, who else is there? Is there anyone else? Wow.
You both said that one player, you're like, Sancho.
I think Shaw maybe. I mean, when you talk about wide, I think Shaw maybe, because I just think that he would play a game. I think when Shaw is playing his best game, he's good. You know, he had a good season last year, and I think that he would, he'd have to up his game and, get used to maybe, being dropped for a bit. But I think Shaw as the only defender, and then maybe I think Bruno would, because Bruno's a good player. So, I think he would.
Oh, where's he gone?
He's left for you to run it.
No.
Kids can't hear you.
Oh,
there you are. It's working now. A bit closer.
now you're trolling me. Everyone else could hear me, and then you do that. Don't worry, it's all right. I'll get you back. Garth, who do you think genuinely survives from this team? I want you to be ruthless. I don't want it nicey. I've heard too many times on these pods about how they ain't good enough. This needs to. When I ask you who survives the team, you're giving me names that I'm like, get rid of them. You're talking about Shaw. Get rid of him.
I know. Shaw would definitely be one of the players that stay under Ten Hag because of his passing ability and his ability to move. He'd play as the inverted wing back for him.
He needs to seriously get him on some serious plan and work on him, because his inconsistencies are what's pulling down Man United at times. Yeah,
but like, if you went on stats alone, I mean, Shaw's got a 88% passing percentage, and that is Ten Hag would want him. That no one on the panel is going to like me, but I tell you who else will stay is Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire's actually got an 87% passing accuracy, and Ten Hag won't get rid of it. It'll be. I guarantee you, Maguire won't be gone from this team. You'll see possibly Lindelof and Bally go, but you won't. I guarantee you won't see Maguire go. Apart from Shaw and Sancho. Ronaldo, because he likes a target man. Ronaldo, for the last year of his career, would work very well in a Ten Hag system, just sitting up top, banging in goals. The only problem you'd have is his pressing, because Ten Hag likes man-to-man pressing. But Ronaldo does, if you watch it, you just can't play him every game, obviously. Mm-hmm. So Ronaldo, Sancho, Rashford, Elanga, Dalot, Palestri, I reckon he'd have a look at as well, bring him in. Once you get past that, Fernandes, he played Donny van der Beek at number 10 in Ajax. So maybe you get Donny and Fernandes rotating up there. But yeah, he ain't keeping Fred and McTominay with their passing percentages, not in a million years. That'd be a defensive midfielder would be the first thing he looks for his system. If he brings his system to this club, 100%, and then probably a right back. So no Wan-Bissaka. He's got no Dalot, no Telles, I don't think. No Fred, no McTominay. Matic is gone, obviously too old. Matt has gone. Lingard's gone already. So yeah, not many. That's what I'm saying. If he had the old champ cheat where he could give himself $2 billion to start with, and he can just get rid of whoever he wants, then yeah, you could see quite a few. But that's why I don't think he'd get rid of Maguire. Because he likes to leave one defender, one centre back, free to do what he wants, and that'd be Maguire, just holding that back line, not having to move anywhere, like not having stuff. So. Yeah, I'm disappointed because I'd like to see him go as well.
Nathan's already like Ten Hag out. Like Nathan, you sank into your seat. You look dejected already. Maybe you can get the best out of Harry Maguire. Think of it that way.
Maguire already. We've seen the best of Maguire.
He ain't happy.
That is the best of him. To be fair, there's nothing much more we can do with that. But look. Sancho definitely looks the part, and surprisingly, Fred in the more attacking position looks quite good as well. If he can continue doing that, we'll see. I think he could be a squad player who comes in that midfield, in that more attacking role. He's been looking all right. To be fair, three games on the trot now. He's been looking very good and not giving the ball away like he does when he's more deeper. He's actually provided a lot of energy in there and actually assists and goals. Ridiculous. So if he can do that, great. It just feels like, what about Pogba? We're thinking about him. Is he going? Is he staying? He's probably going for sure. For me, I can tell that he's going. From my side of it, if I was him, knowing how players are, they're not running out their contract and talking the way he's talking. I can see he's gone for sure. Real Madrid, I would say. If Mbappe's going there as well, I see he's gone. Bruno, I think he'll probably stay in the squad, obviously. We'll probably need to keep him for now. Obviously, goal scoring threat, unbelievable. And the assists, unbelievable. But, Sancho, Bruno. I think Shaw could stay because he's okay. He's okay. He's like he's reliable defender. Obviously, we do want more. At the same time, you can't get rid of everyone, so it's not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. We definitely need to get someone to play with Varane that's going to be fit full time, or that they're just going to like to play. If you can get Bailly playing all season, I just think Bailly and Varane would be just too hard to play against for anyone. Probably have the best defensive centre-back pairing there. For me, I believe it's strong, very strong. Again, we need more on the right back slot. We need a right back with more quality. We're going to need a central defensive midfielder. So there's no one in there. We're all saying the same thing pretty much. But look, I don't think there's many other players out there. I think Rashford can come back to his form. Rashford can be in there. But he needs to come back to his form. Because if he doesn't, he'll probably want to leave anyway. And nobody would be upset that he goes. Because if he's playing the way he's playing for longer periods, we're going to be like, okay, you've had enough time, lad. Diego Forlan, part 2. Get going and go and kill it somewhere else, But that's what's going to happen. So, Diego Forlan was a player with top technique, top finishing, just couldn't score, couldn't do nothing for us. Like, I don't know what happened. And then he goes and kills it, like we were saying before. But yeah, it's anyway.
Wasn't he having a half decent season before he left, though?
Yeah, he
was
did.
It that one? And he scored an absolute weldy.
Yeah, he got a few goals, but it took too long, isn't it, for him to take off and didn't really take off too far. So yeah, we just got to change a lot, don't we? We got to get on it. We just need some exciting boys. Imagine Sancho on the left and that Ajax boy on the right, that Brazilian. We need him. You get him on the right and Sancho on the left. It's curtains for everyone. I'm telling you, that is gonna be exciting. So Ten Hag, get down here and bring that lad with you as well. And say you're not coming unless he's coming with me.
Here he goes.
Simple.
Here he goes. Here he goes. You changed the tune now.
What's his
Change the tune now.
What's his name? Anyone know that Brazilian's name?
Anthony.
Unbelievable.
Anthony.
He won't bring Anthony.
Anthony.
We've got too many wingers already. That's what I'm saying. We've got too many wingers already. He won't bring Anthony.
Why not?
He won't.
Why are you ruining it for me?
We've got Dalot. We've got Rashford, Sancho, Dalot, Elanga, and Palestri. That's 5 wingers. We don't need Anthony.
They're not ready. They're not 13 minutes. Palestri. Nah.
No, but you've got to give them their chance sooner or later. You know what I mean? They're the same age as Anthony, so they've been playing in good leagues, Dalot and Palestri.
That's a worry, though. Surely, if Palestri's the same age as Anthony, then that's
a year or two younger. But like
curtains.
20.
All I know is you need that. It's like when Cristiano was playing, and then they brought in the other winger on the other side that was Portuguese as well. Not for us, but obviously we had Nani. But then there was, for Portugal, they had the other winger was just as skillful. I can't remember his name now. What?
Not Quaresma.
Quaresma, yeah. Skillful player. Obviously,
baller.
But
yeah, he's still a baller. Yeah, he's just not aware. He's a baller. No,
I get what Garth's saying. I think though Ten Hag will bring in a lot of kids. Not like when they're not ready, but I just think we'll see Ghana. I just think we'll start seeing a lot like coming up a bit more. And I feel like that is Man United, the academy. Relying on them. And I mean, we have been, but maybe they'll want to sort of do it a bit more. Maybe that's why we're seeing this more energy toward. I'm not saying that Poch doesn't, but that's probably why we're seeing more energy towards Ten Hag, because it's the youth. He, like you said, he builds it again and pulls up talent out from his youth.
Yeah. No, good. It's a good point there. Another good point I see here, and with Erik Ten Hag's style of play, Alex, is there a worry that De Gea will be off, even if that is a worry for you? Is it time for him to move on?
Gosh, it's really tough, because you look at around you and you think, like, what goalkeeper could we get in potentially right now? I'm sure there are many around that we haven't heard of, or we're not seeing right now. But yes, potential. I think if he's a manager of his like coaching style is to play it from the back, then De Gea is probably not your goalkeeper, and not the person that he's going to want to progress with moving forward. So I think that could be a worry. I think there's also the fact that he's been dropped from the Spanish national team. It's just like, I think in the modern game as it's progressing, it's like De Gea kind of seems to represent what was 10 years ago that I guess most teams are trying to move away from, which is sad because he's a great shot stopper, but there is more to the game at the moment. And you just look around at all the teams and how far behind we are. And I think we need all of the players to be exceptional and elite and just like the best, really, just for us to even win, just even get a sniff of a trophy, or even like be in for a challenge. So I think, yeah, he could potentially be on his way out now, which is quite sad.
Yeah, Lauren, out with the old, in with the new, with the goalkeeper as well.
I'd be gutted to see him go, but every point Alex just said then, I completely agree with. And I think if we want to progress as a team, we need to keep up with football, which we're not. And, you know, a lot of the best players, keepers at the moment are great with the ball at the feet as well. And we just don't have that. So I could see Ten Hag, getting shot at De Gea and finding a new, young, ready keeper that can do it all, basically. And I could definitely just see him doing that.
Yeah, no.
That was the big one I missed, actually. I reckon he will come in and do a Pep with what he did with Joe Hart.
Yeah.
Because De Gea can't play out the back. This year, he's been playing a 38-year-old called Remco Pesveer, who are like not that great. Like, he hasn't really played anywhere before, literally only because he can play out from the back. He's got Stecklenburg on the bench. Like, I could easily see him coming in and doing a Pep Guardiola and just be like, nah, it isn't for my system. I need a ball-playing goalkeeper. So he could be the biggest casualty of Ten Hag coming in. De Gea.
Yeah, would that worry you, Nathan, or you just want to see structure? You see it as potentially something we're moving forward?
To be fair, I'm not too bothered, to be fair. I think we should just go get Ramsdale.
Do you know what? I saw that in there, yeah. Oh, my God. I'm sweating. I'm reading that, yeah. I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it, kids.
See that, you know. I was
don't do it, kids. Don't do it. Don't do it, yeah. I'm sitting there like, you think you can get Ramsdale?
Why not?
You think you can get Ramsdale from Arsenal?
Them type of keepers.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and start slandering Man United right now when I've got a whole panel to face me. I'm not going to do that.
I don't do it.
To be fair,
I'm going to hold it in.
Doesn't really matter, does it? Yeah, they bring De Gea in. He's a good shot stopper, but we don't want to have to rely on the keeper anyway too much. But I'm sure whoever we bring in, if we get a new one, that's all they'll be looking for, isn't it? Make sure that he's good with his feet. And great, if you want to do that, go and do it. Just bring in good players on the pitch, so we don't need to worry about that. You know, I don't want our keeper being the second most saves in the league, in the whole league. How's that possible? It says something about the defense, right? It says something about the defense, and I'm not messing about. People say I'm trolling these players, but listen, if you've let your keeper have the second most shots against in the whole of the league, there's nowhere to hide. Simple, nowhere to hide. Nowhere to hide.
Paul says he thinks Rashi might leave, but do you not think this could be a player, Natalie, that Ten Hag could potentially get the best out of bringing back?
Yeah, I mean, Garth knows more about the style than me, so I'll bow to his superior knowledge. But I think Rashi can fit in. I think Rashi can. I'm with Nathan. If he gets back to his best, you know, it's about being on that level. It's about proving yourself. And, you know, he's Manchester through and through. And I hate to see him go. But, yeah, if he keeps on this, he can't fit into Ten Hag's system and style of wanting to play. Yeah, he'll have to go because that's football, isn't it? But I'll be gutted if Rashi does go because I love him, man. I know, you know, he's not been playing well, but, and, you know, being all sentimental as a fan, Manchester boy, everything he's doing for you know, the whole country, himself, it's just it's great, and I want to see him thriving. And you know, I remember him making his debut. I remember that Arsenal game, scoring them goals. So he can do it. He's got it in him, 100%. Look, I'm not trolling, but
no, you're not. Yeah, it's not. You're not. Yeah, but it's only because I look over to Nathan, and he's like, I've never seen him smile so hard, except for when someone mentions Arsenal. Alex, is one thing that Erik ten Hag could do to get the fans on side is surely put his arm around Rashford and try his best to get the best out of him.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, gosh, I'm not ready to throw Rashford away like most people are. I'm ready to be patient. If it's Ten Hag, we keep saying Ten Hag, but I think even Poch, could still do a good job. I think one of the things that I know about Ten Hag is that he usually, I know that Rashford's been changing, so he's been on the left, he's been on the right. So I know that Ten Hag will use the left side like Pep does for combination play, and then he'll use the right for isolation and 1v1. So with that in mind, that could potentially be a role for Rashford to play in the future, on that right-hand side, 1v1. Let Sancho cook on the left, what he's been doing. So potentially that's exciting to me that he could come in and coach him and change him and let him become an even better player than what we've seen previously. So that's exciting to me. And I think even with Poch as well, I think with his experience and the players that he's worked with, I think he could also potentially coach Rashford to be even better. And I'm hoping that is the case. And I'm more than prepared and willing to give this guy another season or two just to see what he can do, because I love the guy and I really want the best for him. It's he's got a big soft spot. I've got a soft spot for him. He's got a place in the heart.
Yeah, he's very much a symbol of Man United. I mean, he's from the area. Comes through the youth. Yeah, I think everyone wants to see him do well. Lauren, an exciting prospect to see if Erik ten Hag or Pochettino was to come in to try and get the best, try and revive what we've seen of Marcus Rashford previously, surely.
So we know that I very vocal about my opinions of Rashford on the pitch. I do adore him, I really do, but the way he plays infuriates me because we know how good he is. So I get so angry when he isn't playing the way he can. But I think 100% we give him a go with a new manager who's going to come in and on a clean slate. And I think we can revive him back to the Rashford we know and love. He just needs the right coaching, I think, and he needs someone to basically kind of get behind him and give him the confidence he needs, because I think he's lacking that massively at the moment. And I think, to be fair, I do think either Poch or Ten Hag can do that with him.
You're on mute.
You're muted, Kieran.
Kieran.
Yeah, I was testing to see if you could lip read, but clearly you can't.
Exactly.
You failed. You failed. I'll win. Garth, who would you be excited for either Poch or Ten Hag to see what youth player they might be able to unearth the best and get the best out of?
I mean, a Manchester United youth player.
Yeah.
Well, like I'm just saying, Dallo and Palestre, 100%. Yeah, 100%. If you're talking youth, then yeah, obviously Garner, Hannibal, the same. Iqbal, Short Thierry, all of these players will work in his system. To be quite honest with you, and just back on Rashford as well, and all firing Rashford, perfect for a Ten Hag system. So yeah.
I'm going to give my little piece on Rashi after you as well, Gaff. Go on.
Yeah, that's yeah. If you're I mean, we've got a wealth of youth talent in there at the moment, haven't we? So any of the standard names you're in, obviously the next batch is Hannibal and Short Thierry. They're the next two that seems to be and Garner that seem to be pushing through. But you've got Dylan Levitt up in Scotland doing bits for Dundee United. He's doing bits up there apparently. So there's a number of players. There really is. For me personally, it's Zidane Iqbal. That's the one I really like out of all of them. Yeah.
And before
I was going to add Garnacho, Alejandro. He's off in Argentina with Messi right now. So that's another one.
Yeah,
all right. You know your stuff, people. And before we go to Nathan, is there anyone at Ajax that you think he would potentially bring in?
Obviously, there's the two that everyone wants, which is Gravenberch and Antony. like I say, I don't think we'll get Antony. Gravenberch's the main one, but I reckon he'll be looking at Nasser Mazraoui, his right back, who really knows his system, the Moroccan right back, who's on a free. Yeah, he's on a free this summer as well. Okay. Him and Jurian Timber, the centre back that he plays with. He wouldn't bring him as in the centre back. He's only 5'10", but as a defensive midfielder, they're the two like wild cards I think you should look out for when he comes. Definitely the right back, like Mazraoui. Definitely the right back.
All right, interesting. And Nathan, what's your thoughts on Rashford? Ten Hag or Pochettino? Surely, they're one of their top priorities is getting the best out of him.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of it from Rashi's point of view, like, you know, what's going through his mind, what's going on with him. And I remember an interview with Drogba years ago. You know, we all know how good Drogba was. Obviously, completely different level. But the difference here is Drogba was on fire every season. And then there was a season where he came back mid-season and he didn't do well. And he said, I just needed a pre-season under me so I can get back on a roll. Something that Rashford didn't do. He came back, not match fit. Obviously, that kind of the pre-season is major. You need that in the tank to then add on to that. He didn't. He's just like doing the other stuff, the add-on. So we got to give him a pre-season after his injury, come back, then try and go at it again. So that was something that I just wanted to mention, that I remember Drogba mentioning with his own words, saying that same thing. So maybe it's one of them blip seasons where he can just come back next year. He's not thinking about it too much. He's more fitter. He can run and recover. And he's just free because he might score a whole of a load of goals in pre-season and then he's on fire at the start of the season. You know, games that don't matter is going to feel better for him. So I'm hoping that happens with him because it's not nice to see. And again, the thing is as well, there's players who play on the right, play on the left and can't play on the right. You know, you've seen the Robins of this world when they're coming off the right, amazing. But you put him on his left, it is a little bit different. And I don't know if you've seen a YouTube clip of him. He's actually doing something with like the Sidemen or something, these guys who pay you to come on a YouTube channel and do a bit. But Robin was doing some finishing from the right, yeah? He got the ball, did his little dribble and whipped it left foot. Then he went on the left side. He couldn't do it. So even someone like Robin went on the left side and went to go on his right foot, couldn't do nothing. Like, so you've got the Riberies of this world who do the same kind of thing, better on the left, not on the right. So you're seeing this kind of thing happening. It seems like it's even more so with Rashi. It's like he doesn't know what to do when he's on the right. For me, I don't even really like him on the left, to be fair. For me, I don't think he actually is one of them dribblers on the left. He's a player who gets it over the top, gets it in behind, and then he's left with one man to shift and hit the ball. He's not let me dribble past 3 or 4 men. He hasn't got that in the locker for me. So for me, I don't mind him playing up the top and trying to get him behind all the time. And we just keep trying to find him like he did last season while he was injured. That's all he did. And he helped us to get to second spot injured. So that's what I like about him. And if he can just focus on doing that, the last part of the game, the most hardest part, just get him behind and score. And that's what your danger is. And if we can get that into him, I think he can do a great job. So I'm happy to get him another year coming in pre-season and then see how he does then. And then review it at the end of that season. And then you have given a real good shot.
I think that's the main thing you're saying is that getting that full pre-season, I think a lot of people underestimate how important that is. We've seen it with many players looking okay, stuttering through their seasons, and then whenever full pre-season is completely different. I totally agree. All right, that is all we have time for. Thank you everyone who's joined us in the chat. It's been absolutely buzzing tonight. Please make sure you press that like and subscribe button. Go on, press the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. If you're watching on Facebook, make sure you change the settings so you can come and join us in the chat as well. If you are watching on Twitter, make sure you press that retweet and like and come and join us in the chat as well. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Natalie.
Thanks for having me on. Always enjoy it.
Of course. Thanks for joining us tonight, Alex.
Thanks for having me on. Loved it tonight.
Cool. Thanks for joining us tonight, Lauren.
Thank you. It was good to be back finally.
Good to have you back. Thanks for joining us tonight, Garth.
Pleasure as always. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for joining us tonight, Nathan the Duke Ellington.
Loved my cameo appearance. Sorry, guys. I wish I was there for the old
It
one.
was 100%. It was a Divas appearance. It's like, I'm going to come on and say my thing. On that note, peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.